guys? Welcome back to another episode of Five Strands with me, Art del Cueto. I just want to touch over some points. You're seeing a lot of these individuals that are complaining about the raids in different cities. What is it that they're complaining about? They're complaining that you have law enforcement going in there and pretty much cleaning up the city. There is no secret that there was a ton of individuals that entered during the Biden administration. And yeah, you could say and make the argument that they entered legally because they came in, they asked for asylum. But look, that's the thing. They asked for asylum. So if they're getting arrested, if people are going out there and finding them and they're getting detained, well, what's happening is you're getting detained and you're getting your day in court. It just so happens that, and we said it all along, there's a lot of us that talked about it. A lot of the individuals that came across and they said, hey, I'm asking for asylum. I have an issue, in my country, whatever it was all like pretty much BS. That's just what it comes down to. And now they're getting detained, they're getting arrested, they're getting deported back to their country. And you have so many people in the U.S. that they're out there arguing, and I've seen the videos. I've seen a ton of people that go out there and do the videos, and they get into the these riots and these demonstrations, and they interview people and say, well, what is it that you have a problem with? What did President Trump do that you have a problem with? What's he doing now that's bothering you? And a lot of them, they go around and around in circles, and they really don't have a real answer to give. That's because they just don't know. They're just basing it off of whatever the media tells them to think, or what they tells them to hate, who to hate and who not to hate. I recently, I'm all over town. I'm out in Tucson, and I was eating at a certain establishment, and I was talking to to the waitress there, and she was going back and forth on issues about immigration and about President Trump. And I just sat there and listened. She didn't know who I was, which is a good thing, right? I'm glad when people don't know who I am until after I've ordered the food. But we sat there and she was talking about it, and then I started asking her a couple questions, and I made her really think about her answers and what she was saying. And at the end of the day, she says, "I never thought of it the way you've explained it." And I think that's part of the problem. I think we're really behind the eight ball when it comes to explaining things or going out there in the media and telling people this is what's going on. That's why, the last video I had made, I talked about it. I said a lot of these raids that are going on, or a lot of these people that are being detained, or when they're going to businesses or whatever it may be, it's because other individuals that are getting arrested are pointing the finger and saying, hey, that person's an illegal, or go to this place of business and they're hiring illegals. So a lot of it doesn't go explained. But when you start looking at it, and whether you're on the right side, left side of the aisle, and just take the time to think about this. You have Border Patrol agents, you have ICE agents that are going out there arresting individuals that pretty much thumb their nose at the law. And a lot of those, which we've seen now, is they're ramming Border Patrol agents, they're ramming ICE vehicles. When they're trying to get detained, they take off at a high rate of speed to avoid being arrested. Then you have the individuals that have been here illegally, and I know there's been a couple cases of them. There was one recent one now in Ontario, California, of another individual that was here illegally, and he was driving a semi-truck, and he caused another accident, took people's lives. Is this what we're defending? I want to ask, and I'm not saying we're, because obviously I'm not, but is this what we're defending as? When I say that, is this what people in America are defending now? It's gotten so far that whatever President Trump says or enacts, everyone's going to get upset and say, "Oh, well, we have to protest against it." Remember the Tylenol? Tylenol announced a long time ago that it was not good for you to take it if you were pregnant, and then you had all these brainiacs that were out there pregnant, just downing Tylenol left and right. They were putting videos out. Please do your research and realize what you're protesting against, what you're complaining about, and don't just sit there and say, well, I'm going to complain about it because I don't like this particular person. In this case, whatever President Trump says, it must be wrong, so we must complain about it. Hats off to every single agent out there, ICE agent. You guys are honestly, you're going out there and you're putting your lives on the line even more so than ever before. You have a lot of obstacles. You have the cameras. You have protesters. You have everything out there that is not in your favor. And yeah, President Trump is the individual that's supporting ICE, supporting Border Patrol agents, supporting law enforcement as a whole, to be honest. But unfortunately, you have a lot of individuals out there that have been attacking agents. And my big question has continuously been, we have leadership talking about that there's a lot of agents that have been attacked. Well, I want to know, of all those agents that are being attacked by these lunatics, how many are being prosecuted? We need to start prosecuting these individuals, not just a slap in the hand, not just, hey, they were detained and released. I saw the video of that little thick kid that was out there attacking law enforcement. Then he was arrested, so he was crying in the corner saying, he was scared. I posted it on my stories a while ago, and he's back on the streets. He's back protesting. He just doesn't care. There needs to be real consequences against these people, or else they're just going to continue doing what they're doing. That needs to stop. On that note, please, seriously, say some prayers out for law enforcement as a whole. They're dealing with a lot of issues, and you have a lot of ignorant people out there that are protesting just to protest. Until next time, though, all of you, stay safe and God bless.